Hi, this is Mark Slade from the Mark Slade Homes team of Keller Williams, Midtown Direct. So, here is your South Orange annual real estate recap. I love doing these because I love tracking the performance of the market as I do it for my clients, and I do publish also to Instagram and Facebook so people can keep abreast of the stats. And just to let you know, the stats are derived from the Garden State MLS listings from January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, and they must close within that year. So my stats might differ a little bit more than other people because very often we have properties at the tail end of the preceding year that do close in the current year, as I would say. But I try to track the market closer to the vest, so I only analyze the stats when it comes to where we stand with listings in that given 365-day year calendar. So let's get right to the meat and potatoes of it. So, first off, we had a pretty solid year in terms of price. So we saw the average sale price rose $6,000 to $1,068,421, and that was 0.6% of an increase over the preceding year. And the average list price that actually went up a little bit higher, so that went up to 967 versus 954. That was a full 1% increase over the preceding year. And as a result of the list price going up a little bit higher as a percent than the sale price, we saw a slight decline of 0.8 of a point to a 10.5% sold versus list price percentage performance. Also, what we note is the units sold declined by 10. So while Sister Maplewood went up by 2 units, South Orange went down by 10, and that means they matched 2023. So there was a 6% drop in units sold. It's not a tremendous amount difference, but it's still something to note. And mostly that is because of a lack of inventory. Now, days on market, that's a measure that is from the date the property is listed to the date the property is, put as under contract. And that increased slightly from 16.6 days to 17.1 days. And I view that as a 3% decline in terms of performance. Now, I'd like to see where we stand in terms of the highest list price and the highest price paid, and they happen to be one and the same, 2.3 million, and that was for 303 Montrose. So as far as the highest percent over asking, it was 140% this year in 2025. Last year it was 145%. And the lowest percent, meaning the lowest percent of asking, was 85%. So that came in a bit lower as well. So that was a little bit interesting to me. Lastly, I like to look at the properties that sold for over $1 million. Actually, I got to redo this. So we ended up selling 74 properties for over $1 million, and that represented 51% of the total inventory. Kind of a crazy number. Now, the last breakouts I like to do are as follows. I like to track to see how many properties sold for over asking, at asking, and under asking. And so, to me, this is the biggest indicator of how strong a market it is for either a seller or a buyer. And so in this case, the properties sold for more than asking increased to 81% of the total units listed. So the units that sold at asking, that surprisingly went down by 4% from 10% in 2024 to 6% in 2025. And then lastly, the number of units that sold for less than asking, well, there's your 4% differential because we went to 13%. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me to see such an increase over the preceding year. But all in all, it was a very healthy year for real estate. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them with any ability I have. And love to hear from you. You can reach me at 917 797 5059. Have a great day. Thank you so much.